Welcome, friends, to the Chieftain's Tavern, where entrepreneurs gather for cold ale, good company, and a heaping portion of battle-tested strategy. Learn how to align with your ideal clients, inspire them to take action, and profit in the online realm.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Lee Rowley, and you are watching Connect with Your Clan, the Chieftain's Tavern. We have another great episode today. I am one of your hosts, and our other host is Kate McKnight.
Hey guys, what's up? We're excited to be back with you, and especially excited to have our special guest here, Henry Kaminski of Unique Designz.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Kate, you actually pronounced it correct, and that's very far and few. So
it was a total guess
for that.
Awesome. Well, we're real super excited to have you on the show today, and thank you for taking the time to join us on this show.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
What we're going to focus on today, I think, is we're going to talk about, we're always talking about how to build your audience, your clan, your loyal following of people who love you for what you do and keep you from having to try to be all things to all people, which is an awesome place to be. And part of that is your overall design, the aesthetic that you put out there to communicate who you are, to communicate what you believe, and to communicate who you want to work with and what you can do for them. And Henry is a fantastic design expert. We've all worked together for several years, and I'm just completely blown away by the creativity that he puts into everything. I'm going to just first, I'd just like to turn over to you and say whatever you want to say to introduce yourself. Kind of tell us a little bit about your background and why it is that the people that are on the call today are listening to us and to you.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. Super, super appreciative of that. And if there's any way I can help your audience, please, I'm here for you guys. So a little bit of backstory about me. I'll keep this under 2 minutes, I promise. Started my graphic design career literally 10 years ago, September. So we're celebrating 10 years in business, and it was a one-man band. I was just a freelancer. I literally just found graphic design by accident. I was working in corporate, building fundraising events and being like an event manager, and always needed marketing collateral designed and printed. And one of my good friends was a designer at the time, helped me out with one of the fundraisers I was putting together. And from there, I found my passion for design. Spent the next 3 years creating my craft or building my craft and really getting good at it. And then eventually what happened was I got laid off. And I was like, oh crap, now what do I do? I don't know if I have enough skill. I'm not a business owner by any means. I'm just this little freelancer guy. Am I going to be able to make it in life? Never mind business. And I said, you know what? I have no choice. It's either stay here and be a secretary or leave and try this thing called entrepreneurship. And I left. And the first year I did $248,000 in revenue, one person. So I said, well, I think I'm kind of good at this. So let's for now, let's keep rocking and see what happens. And after 3 years, made my first $1 million. And then after that, it was a roller coaster ride. And about 5 years in, I almost lost it all. My head wasn't screwed on right. I made a lot of bad mistakes in business. I got cocky. I got selfish. And then Hurricane Sandy came through and kind of wiped out 2 of my biggest clients and really left me pantless, if you will. And I said, now what do I do? And so I invested back into myself and took a risk and said, I need the coaching. I need the mentorship. I got a coach, got a mentor. And within 16 months of that, was back on top doing $500K in revenue. And now it's just been I swear the past 3 years have probably been the best 3 years of my career. And I realized that it's not just about design. It's not just about making websites pretty, making brands pretty. It's about making brands profitable and allowing my expertise to help clients make more money and really position themselves better so that they can get in front of the right people, work with the right clients, and make the right money. So it's part design, but it's part branding and strategy and positioning and all of that. And so I've come a long way from just being a graphic designer to more of a branding consultant at this point.
Sure. What do you feel like the biggest mistakes that people are making in terms of branding and particularly design, in terms of what connecting with people that they really should be connecting with?
People are trying to be astronauts and teach astronaut coaching when they're not astronauts.
Okay.
That's the biggest problem that I see right now. And what happens is the confidence level in themselves is very low, and the audience picks up on that immediately. And when the audience picks up on that, they're going to call BS, and they're going to call BS on it real quick. And it's very hard to come back and build your reputation after it's been tarnished versus coming out of the gate strong. So one of the biggest things that I say is, if you want to charge the part, you got to look the part. Okay. And you got to be confident. You have to, I just want to make sure you can hear me. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You got to make sure that you're positioned the right way right out of the gate, because we all know we got 3 seconds to make an impression on our tribe, on our audience, on our clan, on everybody who sees us, as a business. And if you don't look the part, immediately people start to look at you as amateur, unprofessional, scammy. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you come out and your logo looks like a Fiverr design, if your logo comes out and it looks like you've been in business for 2 years, 2 minutes when you've been in business for 2 years, this psychologically plays on your audience's minds, and they're going to be very hesitant to do business with you. For example, I'll use my sister-in-law as an example. Every time she gets targeted on Instagram or Facebook, the first thing she does is Googles the brand and goes to their website and sees whether or not they have a credible website to begin with, right? From there, she'll dig a little deeper and see what the brand is about and what they stand for. And then by then, she'll know whether or not she's going to whip out her credit card and buy. And I believe that she's not the only one that does this. I think we all, as smart consumers, do that. And if somebody comes to your website, or somebody comes to your brand for the first time and sees amateur design, not a clear message, confusing, people are going to be like, I'm out.
So I want to ask you this, because you just remind me of it. A lot of people now are doing, of course, the funnels. We say the whole Russell Brunson deal. If you don't need a website anymore, you can just run funnels. So from that perspective of design and also branding and making sure you have a professional face, how important do you think do you think you need a website in today's market?
I honestly think you do. And here's the reason, because I went through that spiel too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to first say that I love Russell. He's been a great mentor to me, and I'm never going to speak bad about him, because he really helped me take my business to the next level. I think I use ClickFunnels in my business. It basically was the catalyst of my success after that 5-year mark where I was struggling. So I want to preface what I'm about to say with all of that. And I will tell you this. I think every business must have ClickFunnels first and foremost, for the simple fact that it is the best tool to use when it comes to selling things quickly, selling things efficiently, and getting people to buy either more what's the word that I'm looking for? More frequently, and helping the business get the visitor or customer to where they want to be faster. Now, with all that said, I truly believe that there needs to still be some sort of home base for your business. And that's why I say a website is still necessary, because the first thing that people are going to do is either Google your name or Google the name of your business. And if nothing shows up, people are going to be like, is this a scam? And I'm just not comfortable yet with the searchability of a funnel. And that's why I say I think it's key to have a website with some sort of content on it to help you build your credibility online. Because that's the biggest thing here, is building that credibility so people actually trust you before they buy from you.
So is nothing better, or is an amateur website better?
No.
I mean, given the choice, now I know that neither one of them are ideal, and I realize that's kind of a BS question to some extent, but there are a lot of people out there that are still trying to build the Wix site or I don't even know these, building build it in an hour sort of sites. And
there's so many of them. There's Wix, there's Weebly, it's insane. There's Squarespace. I mean, there's hundreds of them. The biggest concern that I have, Lee, is this: first impressions will last a lifetime, and you're better off not coming out at all before you come out with something half-ass. I was just at an event. You guys will appreciate this. I was just at an event that CNBC and Inc. magazine sponsored, and it was called the Iconic Tour. And Damon John spoke, Ariana Huffington spoke, the owner of MailChimp spoke. There were some real heavy hitter guests, right? And the one guy that owned this one business called Boxed, he said, what did he say? I got to make sure that I get this right, because I don't want to mess it up. But he said, don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. And I totally resonated with that, because so many of us get caught up with time, with putting a time stamp on things, and this must be out by Friday, no ifs, ands, or buts, and they half-ass it, they go live, and they're like, what did I do? And it didn't come out correctly. See, I would rather not come out at all than come out half-ass, right? So focus on one thing at a time and just rock it out. And I'm not trying to say be a perfectionist either, because that's going to slow you down too. But if it's 98% there, then I'd say go with it, right? But if it's 50% there, wait. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. We work with quite a few clients who they have an idea on Sunday afternoon, and they think that they have to have it up by Monday morning. And it just doesn't work that way. If it took you, I'm 43, almost 44, and if I come up with an idea, then it took me almost 44 years to come up with that idea. Why in the hell would I expect to have it up in 2 or 3 days?
Right. And I mean, listen, there is something to say for speed, right? I mean, if you have efficiency in your business, then by all means, get it going, and get it out. But it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but I'm not, because I want to make sure that it's clear to your audience that, again, people are going to judge you in 3 seconds, and you cannot control what they say about you. But the one thing that you do have control over is what you do with your brand, with your brand's identity and with your brand's messaging. So stop worrying about what people think about you, all right? Because that's basically what branding is, right? And start focusing on what you think about yourself and your brand itself, because that is the one thing that you do have control over, and that's what's going to help you take it to the next level.
And
Absolutely.
so for someone who wants to build a passion around, or a business around their passion, let's say they're just getting started, what is there kind of a one thing where they can start taking action, or maybe like what's a minimum viable website?
Yeah. One that has your story attached to it.
Okay.
And that is, and I want to, we could go into that too. We're pretty good for time. I have a 2:00, but we're good. So one of the biggest things that transformed my business was when I realized that my audience and my market cared way more about my why versus my what. When they knew my backstory and why I do what I do every single day, it was an immediate connection. And those people turned into clients instantly. It was when I was hiding behind the pretty designs that I was putting out there, nobody had anything to connect with other than the pretty designs. They knew I was a good designer, but how did that differentiate me from all the other designers out there that were good? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But when they found out who Henry Kaminski was through videos on my website, changed the game. It changed the game. That relationship became more intimate now. And now they understood how Henry almost died when he was 2 years old, and how that story that his mother always told him as growing up has motivated him in his entire life. When my parents struggled for 16 years to conceive a child, and then finally, after a big fight, they were able to conceive me, and that story alone, how that has pushed my entrepreneurial career and my life, and how I'm so motivated and driven. Like, when people hear that story in detail and hear about those things, they're like, I want to hang out with that guy. That guy is going to help me get to where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the game changer.
So ultimately, it becomes form over substance.
100%.
I'm sorry, substance over form. Jeez.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 100%. You know, when they realize that you're a real person that really cares, again, the sky's the limit.
Awesome. Well, we do want to be cognizant of your time. I know you've got other places to be and other things to attend to. You know, if you were to give one thing, you know, just gun to your head thing you have to do today to improve your branding, to improve your design, and to connect better with the audience that you really deserve to connect to, what would that one thing be?
It's tough to narrow it down to one thing, so I'm going to give it a little extra nugget. It is two things. One is you must know your audience and who it is you truly want to serve, and why you want to serve them. Okay? Purpose is always greater than outcome. When you define your purpose, it's going to drive you to do everything else. So really understanding who it is you truly want to serve is really going to help you with your brand's messaging and your brand's identity, right? Because you'll be able to then speak to one person instead of the masses. And this is where I think, Lee, you're just an amazing copywriter when it comes to this, because you find out who their target audience is, and you are just so good at connecting the pieces. And Kate, same with you. I mean, both of you guys have superpowers in that area where it's just amazing. The second thing that I want people to do is to stay in their lane. The quickest way to get to point A to point B is staying in a straight line. And the minute you start swerving into different lanes, it's going to take you longer to get to your destination. So if you're driving your brand, make sure that you stay in the left lane, if it's the left lane, the middle, if it's the middle, or the right, or if it's the right, because you're going to get to where you want to be a hell of a lot faster. And the way you do that is focus on your strengths, do what you do best, and delegate the rest. And that will change your entire business.
That's awesome. That's a very good point. With so many people who are trying to do everything themselves. I'm sure that Kate, you've seen that too with your client base. Is that people just have that, the combination of I have to do everything myself, and ooh, look at this. Ooh, that's a neat tool. Ooh, I need to be over here doing this. The squirrel syndrome. I used to call it shiny object syndrome, but my tattoo artist he started referring to it as squirreling, and to me that makes just as much sense. Awesome.
I love it. Squirreling. So yeah, you stay in if you stay at what, you guys are excellent copywriters, right? And you guys may or may not have some design skill background, right? Just for example, right? That if you do, that doesn't mean you go into Photoshop and you start playing around for 7 hours trying to figure it out. I always my Instagram is just my personality exploded, right? And one of the posts that I put out not too long ago, I said, just because you know Photoshop, that doesn't mean you should use it. and I'm teasing my audience, but I got a lot of engagement with that post because they resonated with it. They're like, you know what? I should not be in this program right now. I should be out there connecting with my audience. I should be out there generating more business. At the end of the day, guys, it all comes down to time. And that's the one thing that none of us can get more of, and that is the common denominator for all of us. So how much you value your time is going to determine how successful your business is. That's the one thing that I've learned of 10 years of being in business.
Awesome.
Well, that's excellent stuff.
Final question. If anyone,
Sure.
Our people who are listening now, if they want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that?
Sure. So the website is Unique Designz with a Z at the end, not an S, .net. So it's Unique Designz with a Z .net is my website. And my Instagram is unique_designs with a Z. And that is the best way. Those are the two best locations to find me on social media. And last but not least, go check out my YouTube channel. There's hundreds of videos there to help you learn how to use the fundamentals and use the basics to really understand branding and how it's so important for your business. And all you need to do on YouTube is just search Unique Designz with a Z, and you'll see all the content pop up.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time to be on here with us today. We've learned a lot, and I'm sure that our people learning, whether they're just starting out or whether they're trying to move to the next level, can really pull a lot of good value from this. So, thank you very much from all of us for being on here today. And
very well.
I think from there, Kate, you want to bring us home?
Yeah, we will see you guys next week. If you haven't already, be sure to like our Facebook page, connect with your clan, or join us inside the Chieftains Room, our free Facebook group for messaging, copywriting, marketing advice. And we will see you guys next week.